on Crim 2 News at noon. I'm Brandon T. Jones, filling in for Laura today. We do want to start things off with some breaking news here at noon. At least 5 soldiers were shot this morning at Fort Stewart in Georgia. Officials say a suspect is in custody, and according to CNN, a law enforcement source says the shooter was an Army sergeant. But at this point, it's not clear if he's a current or a former member of the military. The incident happened in the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area just before 11 a.m. local time in Georgia. The suspect was in custody a half hour later. Officials say the wounded soldiers were treated on site and then taken to an Army hospital. No information is being released about the conditions of those injured service members, and this is a breaking news story.
Well, people, I went out to lunch. While I was out to lunch, this is when I heard about the story. If you get rid of the 1, it's 47X all day. I said if you get rid of the 1, you got 47X all day. Is this coincidence? Army ambulance took the soldiers to the hospital. Georgia. Yeah, old sweet song, Georgia on my mind. My condolences. I am Friend Shot Pearson, welcome to Friend Shot Blue, and it is August 6th of 2025. Happy Wednesday, let's say it together, praise God from whom all blessings flow. So what's going on at an Army base? Back in the day, it was considered one of the most secure and non-violent places on the planet. Yet it has a lot of military hardware. And we have someone who is a military person, they say allegedly responsible for all of this. The research will continue. The questions will be asked. Was it mental? Is it a grudge? What would make a sergeant do something like this? Wow.
Let's listen in.
As possible. We will not release the name of any victims until the next of kin notification has been complete. We will not speculate as to any intentions, motives, or backstories, given that this is an ongoing investigation. When you ask your questions, we ask that you please give your name and the affiliation in case we need to do a follow-up. And it's a little hard to hear, so please speak up so that General Lubis can hear you and that you can hear him. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will now turn it over to General Lubis.
Couldn't help but notice this, right? 22 and 47. As an ambulance blare in the background, we'll go forward. What is 22? And I'm sure in your mind, when you see that 47, you're thinking, just like that license plate. Are they speaking? Or is all this coincidence? Well, you know, in iPad Code 2, Barack Obama has a V on his head. Does he not? There it is. iPad Goat 2. A V. What happens after that? You've seen it a million times, so you can tell me. The American flag shreds in two. It literally gets to flying in the wind. And everything after that point does this. It just crumbles. Is that what's coming? Is there an attack coming? Inquiring minds want to know. These are the last days, people, and they're playing with us. I said these are the last days. They're playing with us. They're staging events. Woo! But the Bible says, let your heart not be troubled. Don't fill it with fear. Just understand God is in control. Now we're going to listen to the breakdown in a minute, but give me a second here. Yesterday, I did this video. Is Lincoln Heights Code gas station looted by mob? In there, I showed that as the reporter was standing in front of the gas station pumps, they showed 8/6, like August 6th. And what's today? August 6th. So I told you guys yesterday, beware of August 6th. And then today something happened. Is that coincidence?
We do have some new information on people shot. So I want to jump into that. There have been 5 soldiers who were shot today in this active shooter incident in the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area. All soldiers were treated on site and moved to Wynn Army Community Hospital for further treatment. There is no active threat to the community. Law enforcement was dispatched for the possible shooting in the 2nd, what I just called Armored Brigade Combat Team area. And Emily gave the timeline a little while ago, and so we know how quickly this moved. So that was at 10:56.
Let's hear from this gentleman here.
Automated logistics sergeant assigned to 2nd Brigade Combat. All arrived in stable condition. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us. This morning, shortly before 11 o'clock, an active duty soldier assigned to Fort Stewart, Georgia, shot and wounded 5 of his fellow soldiers here on Fort Stewart. Thankfully, all are in stable condition and all are expected to recover. The alleged shooter is in custody. We have reestablished security. I have lifted all lockdown measures on Fort Stewart, and there is currently no threat to the local community. I'd like to recognize and thank our Army law enforcement and medical personnel and our partners from local, state, and federal law enforcement and emergency services for their quick response and support. I would also like to thank the brave soldiers who immediately intervened and subdued the shooter. These soldiers, without a doubt, prevented further casualties. Our wounded soldiers were initially evacuated to Wynn Army Community Hospital right here on Fort Stewart. All arrived in stable condition, and 3 of the 5 required surgical intervention. 2 have been transported to Memorial Hospital in Savannah, Georgia for additional care. We have identified the alleged shooter as Sergeant Cornelius Radford, an automated logistics sergeant assigned to 2nd Brigade Combat Team. Sergeant Radford has not previously deployed to combat. Sergeant Radford has been interviewed by the Army Criminal Investigation Division and is currently in pretrial confinement, awaiting a charging decision by the Office of the Special Trial Counsel. Right now, our primary focus is first on caring for our injured soldiers and their families.
So again, man, a sergeant, huh? Who would have thought somebody who's working alongside you on a daily basis would do something like this? Again, my condolences, family and friends, the victims. Is there anything deeper? And I asked myself after watching, about 8 or 9, maybe 10 videos, is there anything deeper? So I decided to go, of course, with the 5 C's of clues, the codes, the colors, the confirmation time, and the conclusion. And it's not too easy, it's not too hard when you see a license plate where they took the soldiers of 147X. Come on now. The number 1 person who's 47 to be X'd. That's the way I read that license plate. The number 1 person who represents 47 to be X'd. I don't know what else to tell you, people. Don't know what else to tell you. And when I look at this here, 22 and 47, I don't know what else to tell you. You see, you watch my videos. You could do this video without me. The signs are there. The signs are there, at least for you to question it, which I wouldn't blame you. Now, March 3rd of 1845, this guy, they say he's transferred from Florida. Okay, that's March 3rd. Take March 3rd, 2025, from 8/6/2025, today's incident, you get 222. 222 is this beast system. Many times when the powers do these rituals or sacrifices or whatever you want to log them in as, they speak through the numbers and what's coming. The Antichrist system, the beast system. This is what's coming, 222. Is that coincidence? 222 comes up. And what about this here? Remember this here? On August 24th of 2023, after being indicted on racketeering and related charges, Donald Trump, a former president of the United States, who went on to win the 2024 presidential election, voluntarily surrendered himself to authorities at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, Georgia. So this shooting happened in Georgia, Fort Georgia, and Trump went to jail in Georgia. Fort Stewart, Army Base, Georgia. That's what went through my mind, so I researched it. When I took that event of Donald Trump, August 24th, remember that? And I literally took that date from today. I get 7/13. And everybody and their mama by now should know what happened on July 13th. Right? In Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th, they say Trump got hit in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania. How many more coincidences are we going to have before possibly the real one go down? Huh? I'm telling you, it's going to go down. That in the future, they're going to have a fake July 13th again. And folks who don't watch this or didn't see through the game, they're going to believe it. And that's what the powers are counting on. So in my mind, these coincidences, they're speaking future past. They're telling you what's coming. It's like a warning. Now, in Fort Hood, not Fort Georgia, but Fort Hood, there was a massacre back in the day on November 5th of 2009. So that anniversary date here versus today's date is 274. And what is 274? Why, that's their sun god, Sol Invictus, when they kicked Christianity out of Rome and brought in a sun god to worship. Is that coincidence by the dates? And here's your governor, Brian Kemp, November 2nd, 1963. November 2nd, 2025, anniversary of his birthday. Today's incident, 8/6. You mean to tell me, Pearson, that his birthday is exactly 88 days from this event? And Trump erected 2 flagpoles on the White House lawn, 88 feet tall? That's what I'm telling you. Are you also telling me, Pearson, that Trump's text number is 88022? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Could this possibly be coincidence? Tell you people.
And also supporting the soldiers of the Spartan Brigade. All of the families of the victims have been notified, and we're wrapping our arms around them and ensuring we provide them all the support that we can. Before I take questions, I want to remind you that this is an ongoing investigation and we're still gathering questions. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll now take your questions.
General Lewis will be short news. Can you give us his what unit he was assigned to and how long he served in the Army? You did mention that.
Yeah, he is assigned to one of our sustainment units here in 2nd Brigade Combat Team at Fort Stewart. And I will have to confirm how long he served with us. Yes, sir.
Corresponding with the Associated Press, as best you can, knowing the story, can you walk us through where this happened, what happened in the shooting, and were the victims subordinate to the sergeants, or were they people over him in rank?
Yeah, right now it's premature, and we're gathering a lot of the information. What we know is this soldier, the shooting occurred at the soldier's place of work. It did involve his co-workers. We're still not certain about the motivations, but again, he's been interviewed by Army investigators, and we believe we'll gain more information here shortly. Yes,
So
ma'am.
we're going to find out in time what this thing is about. It's only a matter of time before they dig it out. I don't have his date of birth. I just have this latest and greatest information as well. 5 soldiers shot, taken to the hospital. Those numbers, hey, I think they speaking. And people are beginning to ask, of course, a lot of questions. And what do you think? Have you served at any of the forts like this one here, Fort Stewart? Were you based at Fort Hood back in the day? You know, this is a crazy situation. A lot of military power on base. And now we got somebody who's a part of the Army to pull this here. It doesn't make you feel safe, does it? No, it doesn't. Well, people, I am friend Shot Pearson. We will get a follow-up. We will go from there. God bless.